Hello, and welcome back to Link to the Past Randomizer here on Speed Gaming Network. I am Worldwide Woodby. I am joined by Zethno. How you doing today, dude?
I'm doing pretty good. Looking forward to this race.
Yeah, it's our daily race here in the Speed Gaming community with Link to the Past. It is the SGL Live 2020 tournament settings, which is essentially, if you've been around for any randomizer, we have different versions of it. It's version 30 because it's non-progressive bows, hard item pool, which means we're only going to get 2 bottles, a maximum of our tempered sword. I think there's no armor upgrades as well. 2 bottles, and it's casual boots, which means we start with a sword, our boots, and an uncle start. So we're gonna
I do have to jump in there. Blue mail is available.
Yeah, that's right. Blue mail is available. It's because of me. I rarely see mail upgrades in this mode. So,
I mean, both are placed, so both are on the map somewhere. But once you find one, the other one will become 5 rupees, which is not a particularly helpful item if you've played this game.
Yep, as we're going to be starting here in a couple of seconds. We have Roach, top left, Matt, 7898 in the top right, CRL, 1982, bottom left, and Alex Jazz in the bottom right. So we're going to be getting here going momentarily. Yeah, we had our first real big qualifier for the SGL tournament today. We have the ladder going on, and the league. The Link to the Past Randomizer League is starting up next week as well, so lots of rando action across both Speed Gaming Network and lots of other randomizer channels, so it's a good time to be a fan of Link to the Past Randomizer.
Oh, there's definitely going to be a lot. And, you know, I do want to mention that everybody involved in the restream and everything else here are volunteers. So I want to shout out our 2 trackers ahead of time here, Jinxie Girl and, Terry Pagula. Sorry, that's a new user that I didn't check. I hope I pronounced that right. But if you are interested in helping us out or helping with one of these, everyone is definitely looking for volunteers. But I think we're off.
Yep, as we just find a little... Yeah, standard start. We gotta save a princess and escape to the church as we find just a little broken heart in our uncle chest. We did get a map check. That is green pendant in Hera and a red crystal in desert, I do believe.
Oh, someone did a map check? I totally missed that. So
yep.
We're gonna... And, oh, look at that. We got rupees. But we do have a sword. So, as mentioned, we do start with the sword, but the max is tempered. So, we're only really going to look for 2 more swords. Quick note, we're just going to do a little fix here on the audio. You may experience a little bit of a blip. That is just... That's not you, that's us.
Right, as we're getting our start here through the escape sequence, it's nice to have sword available to us to go through this. As we're getting towards there, just remember you can follow our runners by hitting the command, I think it's !R in the Speed Gaming channel chat. And you can do the same thing for your commentary and tracking teams by hitting the !C command. Make sure you give all of us a follow. We all play rando. We all like torturing ourselves with this game.
For sure. But yeah, definitely having a sword when starting this, it's much nicer than doing this swordless.
Well, usually in a standard start, when you're playing randomizer, you're going to get an item off the uncle that is a weapon. Just casual boots. Well, the fun part about boots is dashing through enemies, so having boots without the sword just isn't as fun.
I mean, I agree, but you say weapon, but it can be something like 10 bombs, which is not great. Or you could get one of the canes is an acceptable answer, right? I think Burna is an acceptable weapon.
Both are.
Both canes? Yeah. No. Like, but you know, if you're trying to run through here without boots and canes, appreciated thing. Like that can get quite difficult. And there's that downtime I mentioned. We will be up in 1 second. We may miss what's in a Zelda cell, so if you see what shows up there, please do let us know if you figure out what our runners have.
Let me pull it up. Let me get a look here. Oh no, that's not what I want.
this is a really good moment. Go follow our volunteers, our runners, everybody involved for 2 seconds, and come back here as soon as we're right back up.
Yep, I've got a play-by-play for somebody coming up. It doesn't look like Zelda Cell was anything of importance. We did find that small key in the first chest of escape. So we found 10 arrows. It looks like it was a 20 rupee was in the chest.
20 rupee, yeah, that's definitely not something that we're really looking for here. But that is an item. It was a red 20, right? Or I think.
Yes. Yeah, it was a 20 rupe.
Yep. So, it's something. It's Oh! I just saw that on one of our runners' screen because I'm trying to look this up at the same time too. We just found mail in Escape. We have blue mail. That is the most mail we're going to get.
Yep, that's in Dark Cross. So we've got 3 items left and the map, since we did have to get that small key in the front of Escape in order to access the back of Escape.
Just to answer a question as to as a kind of a joke comment in chat as to whether we're playing Blackout. Just to be clear, we are not, but you are listening to ALTTPR Radio for the time being.
Radio.
Our runners. Oh, one of our runners is already finished back of Escape, and I totally missed it. Piece of art glove. There was a glove in the back of Escape.
Yep, and that would be in the back of Escape chest, the 3 combo. We've got one more, which is the Sanctuary chest.
Yeah, so that's definitely a glove. We got an early glove, a nice mail upgrade, sword, boots. Sank chest was 5 rupees. That's not particularly helpful. I'm trying to figure out. We got 46 rupees on our lead runner here on the restream. That's not a lot of rupees. We are going to get a Bonk Rocks check, which is normal if you start with boots. And it is a bomb.
One bomb, please.
You know what? At least, look, the runners have bombs going into Kakariko. That is something really, really nice to have.
As I'm going to check into Lumberjack here, let me see what we got. We've got just a piece of heart on that empty tree hole.
Wow, you're... What? Okay. I barely just saw that right now. Okay. I just saw a tree pole. 20 rupees on the tree pole. I believe that... I don't know if that was a tier 2 or a tier 3 tree pole, but one of them is rupees. 20s at that. I just missed what was in the forest, but it looks like it wasn't anything too important.
Inside the forest is a piece of heart on the mushroom spot, and we have powder inside of the Thieves' Den.
Oh, that's definitely something nice. Powder is a beautiful safety, very nice to have, and it does eventually open up an extra check for our runners. Oh, yeah, there's another 20 rupee pull. A number of our runners have got it. Basically, anyone that's over 100 has done the tree pull. Actually, you know what? Alex here has 80-something. Must have done the tree pull and not gotten one of them, maybe? CRL has gone out of his way to go get the piece of heart in the forest.
Hey, sometimes you want to be a little extra safe with a limited heart container pool. Maybe just play a little safe early.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what I was going to say. There's really a limited heart pool. There are only 2 full hearts placed with 32 heart pieces. So, if you don't go for those heart pieces at all, then you're not going to have any hearts.
Well, the argument would be, you're going to be picking up chests anyway, and the likelihood of you finding lots of heart pieces is kind of substantial, that you'll find plenty of hearts to go forward. Having the mail helps a lot. You can kind of skip a lot that are in the overworld as we're getting our first look into Blind's house. 100 rupees, a couple pieces of heart, and $5 more.
Yeah, see, my thing, though, is that those pieces of heart are a total of 8. You can get 2 full hearts. So from our 3, assuming we get both, that's 5. Those pieces of heart are only another 8. And the thing is, every time you give up 1 to the next 4, you're saying 1 less heart. So that can start getting quite dicey. But as you did say, the blue mail will help us a little bit along that path.
Yeah, the blue mail essentially just doubles your amount of hearts. So
overall, yeah.
As we did get that map check as well. Again, as we find silvers in the back of the well.
Okay, so this is a good. Oh, there we go. We got everything up and going here. This is a good point to mention that the silvers and the bow are separate in this particular mode. Finding the silvers does not really do anything until you find that bow.
And we also found Moon Pearl in the Kakariko well as well.
Ooh, that's nice. We are most of the way to Dark World. If you are an Aga fan, you're in trouble here because Lumberjack Ledge had nothing, and we're very close to Dark World access.
See, even at this point in Casual Boots, as we find a flute in the chicken hut, so we're going to be playing the Song of Our People relatively soon. The thing about Casual Boots is that Casual Boots is actually weighted more towards having Aga seeds. It's only about 4 or 5% more likely, but when you're playing seeds, that's a significant increase over what you're normally doing. So, even if I find Glove and Moon Pearl, I'm still thinking, okay, I'm still a lamp and a sword or lamp and cape from having to do Aga 1 anyway.
Oh, definitely. Very, very close. But while... Ooh, Roach there with a chicken getting into the second room. Gotta talk about that little clip chicken.
There. The home is your wall now.
Gotta talk about that. Little bit of it is a really fun technique there, but just for newer runners, be very aware that could really mess up your game if you do it wrong.
Poor CRL, he had a missed input and threw his bomb up, and he ended up wasting a bomb, and the chicken that's going to have to buy bombs anyway to rebomb that wall, so...
But I mean, everyone bought bombs, so the difference between 10 and 9, it's a few seconds, but it shouldn't make a big difference.
It's just a piece of heart on the library list. We're going to get a peek on the race game. Just another piece of heart. That's a lot of pieces of heart to start early. That's like 2 heart containers worth of pieces of heart.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about. Like, we've already given up probably at least 2, because every 4 is another one. We've probably given up at least 2 hearts already, and in the event that our runners don't find it, this could be a very low health run as a result. So that's where I kind of feel if you get that really early one that's, 2 seconds out of your way, I get the play to go pick up the one in the forest.
As we just have 300 rupees inside of the dam, we're going to see what's on the outside of the drained water. Just 5 rupees. We're going to go right for Ouch Jazz, check Mini Moldorm Cave. We're about 100 rupees short of Zora money, but we can go ahead and use a water walk trick to go check the Pyramid Fairy, and if we happen to get the cash to check Zora, we'll do that too. As these Mini Moldorms are dying relatively quickly with that fighter sword. Ooh, gotta be careful. Just gonna take the poke here, and there goes. As it looks like Roach is going to go ahead and take that piece of heart. He elected to go ahead and do race game. So there's our 100 rupees as well in Mini Moldorm.
I'm more surprised that CRL went out of his way to get the 5 rupees. I mean, I kind of get it, 442, but that 5 rupees isn't going to make a really big difference unless he finds another 2 5 rupees.
Okay, that was interesting. The book is currently locked on Desert Ledge, which means that is Titan's Flute and Mirror locked. So that's a pretty deep book. You're probably not going to have to worry about your tablets today. As we find just 20 bucks inside of Agina's Cave in the desert. And Ice Rod Cave just has $20 more for us. And what we're going to see here is we're going to see the good old water walk here. If you kind of dash into the doorway here using those little spike pegs, you can go ahead and walk on water, because Link, he is the man of legend. Next, he's going to turn our water into red potion. As Alex sees what's on Hylian Island, just another piece of heart. As Matt's going to go ahead and use the fake flippers with the Moon Pearl to go ahead and check out our hobo check.
Waterfall Fairy has a lot of... Ooh! Whoa! That was a small magic. That was a small magic in the chest. That was the half magic that Alex just found in Waterfall Fairy.
And mushroom on our hobo friend, and a shovel on Zora's ledge. We're going to be checking the big fish as well. So we've got a couple of fetch quest items with our out of logic sequence breaking flippers. Zora is in logic because we do have the gloves, and he just has some explosions for us as we see Roach heading up the mountain.
I just gotta say that finding that half magic has gotta feel bad this early, knowing that in any other seed this would have been a half magic seed very early. I do want to say hello to our raiders from Speed Gaming 2. Welcome to an ALTTPR daily race with SGL 2021 settings. We'll probably go over those settings over time, but if you have any questions, please do let us know.
So it looks like our progression is going to be in Sasrala or in Eastern somewhere. As we've kind of gone along all the normal Sphere 1 checks that we could.
Oh, as it's the cape and lamp.
Yeah, it's either hammer, cape, lamp, or it could be a mirror
Mitts.
to go into East Death Mountain. Could be a lot of things. That's the fun part of randomizer. You don't know where you're going to find something.
Mirror, hookshot. Either one would give us nice Death Mountain access. Sorry about that.
And Alex is going to be using the spin speed strats here. Up, didn't get it.
Or not.
That happens sometimes. That is a frame perfect trick. If you let go of your sword, spin, and dash at the same time, essentially within one frame, you get what we call the spin state, or the speed state. Like
Matt's side, right there.
Yep.
And there's hookshot on Alex's side.
And he has a Master Sword.
Oh, I missed the sword in the first chest. Yeah, I was going to say, so now, you don't really want to go into Eastern without the bow here, right? Even with it being a critical.
Yeah, Eastern's easy enough to get back to because you have glove and flute, so that's just one screen transition. You've got the hookshot now. You can just hook dash and get right on up to Eastern. So this is the density play. I like leaving. I've been leaving the old man in his cave until I get lamp. It's nice to have the save and quit spot, but if you have flute already, you can just flute right there.
You can. I mean, I like getting the check personally. You're probably going to do it at some point. And it really doesn't take all that long, and that is one of the easiest dark rooms in the game.
As we find
a boomerang is not
a bloomerang here.
A bloomerang. Oh, here we go. We got the hookshot state. So you know you were talking about that hookshot or the sword boots frame perfect trick. The hookshot one is a lot easier, and it does the same thing.
Where is CRL going? It's going back into the village.
Shovel?
It doesn't have it. You couldn't have. There's no way you could have fake flippered. Oh, yeah. Orphaned race game. Okay.
Didn't check it. Ooh.
There are times where I orphan the library in race game. So, for example, if I don't have bombs throughout Kakariko, and I buy bombs and end up in Blind's basement, I usually save and quit and just say I'll check the other two later.
Unfortunately, this particular seed that's going to waste some time. What is? Sierra might not have just not done CAC?
Yeah, that's what it looks like to me.
I was wondering about that. Like, we had some downtime that was hard to tell. I did notice that CRL does not have the flute on the tracker. I wasn't sure.
Oh, did they die in Chicken Hut accidentally? Did they bomb themselves in Chicken Hut? That's because they were here. They had to buy bombs.
And the Chicken Hut was open.
Yeah.
But flute was not picked up. Oh, wow. Oh, they actually got the soft block. I was talking about that.
They got the soft lock. Okay.
Okay, so Roach, it was Roach that had that got the chicken through, or was it Matt? I forget which. But one of our top runners got the chicken clip, got the chicken into the second room. And I mentioned to the newer runners, be very careful doing that, because if you do it wrong, it's going to cause you problems. It can soft lock your game, and it looks like that's what happened to CRL earlier.
Yeah, if you happen to take damage while you're throwing the chicken or some sort of state like that, it basically makes you get locked. And yep, it feels bad.
Yeah, that's... Oh, look, the glove! Or the mitts. We found mitts in Spiral Cave.
Alright, that still doesn't mean Aga's dead, though.
No, but it is very likely that Aga's dead now with the Dark World access. Technically, we do need Hammer to get over there. Or Flippers. To the right, sorry. To get over there, I mean the right side Dark World.
Hammer could be in Pyramid Fairy. So even if you have Flippers,
oh, it could.
You would need to kill Aga.
It could also just be in Pod, which is such a lovely place to find it.
As we're getting our Dark Mountain checks as well. Let's see what's in Super Bunny. Just some bombs. And more rupees.
Good knowledge there on Matt's side, knowing that pot had a full magic underneath.
We haven't gotten a Dark World check yet. Gonna be checking Turtle Rock here for what medallion it is on Matt's side. Bombos. Which we already have. Alright, we got Pendant, Swamp, and Pod, and a red crystal in Thieves Town.
I saw two of those three things. You see them faster than I do, and man, these runners are fast at that.
And then the other red crystal's in Turtle Rock. As we find nothing of interest in Hookshot Cave.
Roach showing off that hookshot attack. I'm sure some of the other runners did. I just wasn't looking at the time. Alex also showing the nice hookshot movement in Hookshot Cave itself. CRL in the dark room.
As Matt gets the news that Literacy is on the desert ledge. He's going to be checking Meyer area first.
Yeah. Going to need the mirror to get that book, but finds out what Meyer is.
Vanilla Ether. As we get Alex checking King's Tomb. $5 in Meyer Shed, and a single Arrow of Destiny, and some explosions in King's Tomb. I would imagine going to go into Village of Outcasts. Okay. Perfectly acceptable at this point. I like checking Meyer area early as well, once you get Titans and Flute. Meyer Shed loves hiding Hammer there. So, it's one of the first things I go, Hammer's there. Yeah, it's not.
I find it interesting that we have not found a single bottle yet.
Only 2 in the pool, so they could be both in GT.
No, all 4 are placed, though.
That's what I'm saying, is
right.
Our first 2 logical bottles could be in GT, the others could be in pendants, could be sitting on those tablets.
Oh, could very well be, yeah. I'm finding it interesting we have none. Like, this is quite a long way into the seed without a bottle.
It's one of those things, I think, because there's only 2 bottles, that logically that pushes Sick Kid back a little bit more, kind of like how if you start with boots that moves up Lumberjack, simply because you're taking out an item that is 4 times, being in a chest versus just 2 times. So, because I've seen bottles super deep in a lot of these seeds, so I'm thinking it might be something with that.
Very well could be. I've not seen anything really interesting yet in Dark World here. Got a map in the first chest in Thieves Town. Got a small key. This is not helpful. There is a lot in the back of Thieves. It's good that it's a crystal, but then now you've got a bit of a situation of, do you want to do all of Thieves Town right now? You don't have hammer.
Yeah. Yeah, you do all of Thieves Town here. You orphan that and you say it's nothing. It's nothing if you happen to be hammer locked.
Yeah, it's because like we found the first two chests were not done. Oh wow, it's gonna be it. All of the items are in the back. That means that there is an item hammer locked.
As we see Matt doing dig game here, deciding to go ahead and leave Thieves Town for maybe a little bit later once they do have the hammer.
I mean, in the case of doing this first, I think if you have gloves, or sorry, mitts, it makes a lot of sense sometimes. Just double check that hammer is not just outside the dungeon somewhere. Because I've seen multiple seeds where hammer's sitting on something like digging game, and then what?
I like this from Matt. Take the smith, go do Stumpy, go do Hype Cave, then just flute back to the village, hit your Dark World access with those nice Titans mitts, and pick yourself up and say, okay.
Yeah, and then you know, it's like, well, okay, so hammer was nowhere reasonable, so let's just go do this and get out of the way. Getting a map check on Roach's side.
Yep, as we have our left side runners reaching Dark World access now as well.
I missed that Turtle Rock was Bombos, but
yeah, TR is
that could be
Bombos.
something.
Meyer is Ether Medallion.
Yeah.
So
no, I saw the Ether. I totally missed the Bombos on Turtle Rock, though. Bombs for Matt. You know, if a hammer's in here, this is going to be huge. Oh, wow, that's a mirror.
There's a hammer. All right.
Oh, wow. Matt making the plays here. This is... I mean, even if there's nothing in there, the level of confidence you have that you didn't leave something behind there, it's not that little nagging thing in the back of your head that, oh, what I wonder what was in that Thieves Town chest. Wow. That's hype. In this game, we got a hype cave.
Yeah, usually when I find 2 items in Hype Cave, I'm going, okay, yeah, that's good. I can live with that.
But, I mean, hammer and mirror, though, like, especially considering the skip that Matt played here to skip the dungeons, like, that feels a lot better than just any 2 items.
Yeah, Matt's going to be able to do Thieves Town, come back down, pick up the chest if he wants, turn in Magic Bat here, maybe go down to K45. You got a whole lot of options here. He could just choose to skip that and do Thieves Town and go right to Hera if he wants and get a green pendant. That's not a bad play. We still don't
I just want to mention, Alex is on a boss here.
Yep.
Finishing it up.
Good old scripted blind.
We also just found a sword on Roach's side.
Yeah, in the front of Skullwoods. A lot of people treat the front of Skullwoods as an overroll check nowadays.
Makes a lot of sense. To me, it really depends on if it's a pendant or a crystal. If I do it on my first or my second lap through.
As Alex Jess is the first runner on the restream with a crystal. As Roach is going through the rest of Skullwoods. Usually if I find 1 item in the front, I leave the rest for later. Especially if it's a pendant. But in this case, it's a crystal. It's a crystal. You might look into finding Fire Rod here, and you can just complete the dungeon. Most of the time... Okay, he's got 2 keys here. So, yeah, usually I've been telling my teammates in the league, hey, you know, if you're leaving Skullwoods with 2 keys and you've got an item, it's probably more than likely the last item's on Mothula. Don't check the center. Don't worry about it. So, we'll see. You might get lucky.
That's good advice. I may have to remember that in my races.
Yeah, because logically, Mothula is locked by all the small keys. So if you happen to leave the front of Skullwoods with 2 small keys, that means there's no more small keys in the pool. So that means out of the 3 checks that are left, it's a 1 and 3 that the item's in the center, and a 2 and 3 that it's in the back. So at that point, just leave the center. It's in the back.
There's the key.
Yep.
There's the key. Yep. That makes a lot of sense. Good advice here for anyone that's coming up and trying to learn the game.
As Alex is heading through their South Dark World checks, gonna check out this hype cave with a frog friend. As Matt is heading through Thieves Town now, we'll get to see that one additional check in the big chest as we just see a piece of heart on Bumper Ledge and CRL heading into the Village of Outcasts as well.
Alex finding that mirror hammer. Gonna move on here, but
Looks as though Alex is electing to go ahead and check out K45 here. Might just dash back into the village. He's going to take a mirror and flute. Matt took a save and quit. It's slightly faster if you're already in the cave to take the save and quit, and then just flute from the mountain cave or your house. But either way, it's a nice little time save versus just having to dash.
What?
He wants to pick up the purple chest.
Oh,
So
yeah, that makes sense.
He's gonna take the portal mirror once he's turned in the smith and powder.
That makes a lot of sense. Yep.
Because that's kind of a hard orphan for you. If you're already doing 90% of smith chain, you might as well just take the portal, turn it. You've got the flute, turn in purple chests, and hit your way up. As we're getting a new check here in the big chest of Thieves Town from Matt.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I really want to see this. What is it?
Just 20 bucks.
Disappointing, but good for all of our other runners.
So for Alex, technically that's a time save as long as he doesn't go back for it.
Yeah, you're right. As long as he doesn't. Like, there's always that little thing when you get to the end in some of these for hunts for one item. Say, the ice rod.
No, we're not. No one ever has an ice rod hunt ever, and adds like 40 minutes to their time. Who does that?
I don't want to say it, but like that's what I want to say. An item that we're looking for. That's the one that everybody thinks of because it randomly likes to be anywhere in the game. Oh God, chat's saying fire rod on ped. I feel like I was. After that, I feel like I'm nice with my ice rod hunt comment. We can get the book, though.
We can't get the book now. That's right. We can also go into desert. We don't have a fire source to finish it, but we can do it. As Matt uses the spin speed on the non-automatic steps here in Thieves Town to give himself some spin speed there. We're going to be checking King's Tomb. Maybe Matt will set up a water walk as well and head over to Catfish. That's an extreme possibility.
A water walk from here?
Yeah, so if you go over towards Skullwoods, if you're doing this first because you want to check the logical stuff first.
Oh, yes.
So if you're planning on going over to Catfish out of logic, do this first. Go ahead to Skullwoods, see if it's an item as we find a red boomerang. And K45 has a Cane of Samaria. And we're going to get a flute with the chest here. We're going to see what's on purple chest. So yeah, you can use the right side sinkhole in Skullwoods to bonk yourself and put yourself into the fake flipper state and go check Catfish.
Yep. Okay, no, that one I knew. Just from the position that he was in, I wasn't sure. But okay, yep. The problem now, for example, with Matt, is that he's done everything else in that area. Like he does need to go back for that purple chest, but K45 is pretty isolated. Maybe if we get access to a swamp as a pendant, that's not good.
Yeah, that's a rough spot for K45. Maybe if you get lucky, you're saying to yourself, okay, I've got not much left to check, and you're, for example, if it's Alex's next item of progression is in Mire, if we happen to find the Mire medallion, and there's nothing else in between, you're going to go to K45 relatively soon. It's not awful, it's not the best, but definitely something could be better. As it looks like Mire area with the mirror checks is absolute trash. Now, I didn't notice if Alex picked up the book or not. Okay.
I missed it too, but I'm going to say no. We do have Roach on the boss fight. Blind did make it to the bottom of the screen, so we're a little bit off script. With 2 hearts. Oh, this could be interesting. Half a heart. Oh, and gets it.
As Matt is doing their rest of front of Skullwood's going to be finding absolute garbage in here.
And blind fight number 4. Little bit off script there for CRL. Yep, blind moving the wrong way. So when we talk about script, just for any newer viewers, blind does the exact same thing the first time you end up in this room every single time. So if you know where to stand, you can kind of get a nice hit. But I gotta say, CRL's been doing very well with these
It's
beams.
actually, when you're talking about the blind script, it's actually based on your movements and when you do damage to blind. It's not so much on blind itself.
Yeah.
So.
Sorry, oversimplification. I was hoping just kind of for the newer. I got interrupted there because CRL was doing so well. But you're right. It's your movement and blind where you hit him where it is. The idea is if you stand in the right place, blind will move into the same place into you, and you can get a perfect fight without getting hit.
And even then, if you mess up a little bit, there's multiple scripts to it that it will do the same thing depending upon what result you give it. So.
For sure. Which is nice to know some backups, and our more experienced runners for sure have multiple backups as to what to do, because every once in a while that blind script does not go the way you planned it.
As we got good news over on Matt's side, he's got the purple chest. We're using our hook shot to give ourselves some little glitch to be able to dash with the purple chest, but we're checking K45, we're going to find ourselves a right cane. As it looks like Alex is going to be fake flippering to Ice Palace. This is an interesting call.
With Bombos. Wow.
This is a very interesting call. It's a crystal dungeon you can do. You don't know if you
some up for Icebreaker.
You don't know if you need the flippers or not if something's in Swamp Palace. You don't have the bow, you don't have a fire source to say, yeah, pod's a good option as a pendant. So yeah, this makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, no, this play could definitely pay off. If there's something in here, that's great. The biggest downside is that Alex is still on Master Sword. And I'd love to have Tempered in here. Looks like we're not getting the bomb strat. How are we going to do that? We're just going to hookshot this room? We're just going to hookshot this room?
Yeah, just...
There is the quick kill with the 2 bombs. But that was pretty fast as well.
I like the quick kill with bombs, but I don't know if it's so significantly faster than just hookshotting them all. I think if you don't have hookshot, that bomb strat is really good because it just slows down that room so much.
It's probably a similar amount of time. I think it's a nice way to just be used to that room. It's consistent once you know what you're doing.
Yeah. If I don't have hookshot and I have Master Sword and it's like, well, I can just use Bombos, I guess, maybe. Then yeah, the bomb strat works real well.
The reason I like it is just that, like, no matter what, I can always do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's
right.
That was kind of my argument with Terrapod. So.
Yeah, it's consistent. Like I can always do it using bombs as long as I have 2 bombs, whereas all the other strats require multiple items, or at least 1 other item, I guess. But anyways,
we've only found small key, big key, and compass so far in Ice Palace. As Matt
not very
is
helpful.
also elected to go into Ice Palace here as well. Well, there's your bottle. Flipper's locked.
So, out of logic bottle. Hold on. I want an in logic bottle.
As Roach is going the long way around, as nothing was on Pyramid, but we're going to get a catfish check here from Roach. Same with CRL. So they're basically mirroring one another at this point.
Yeah, the left side and the right side are doing very similar strats. The fact that both the runners are in here out of logic, kind of wonder how many in logic dungeons they have that they can actually complete. Like when you think about it, they really can't.
Crystals, no. They've got
right?
Hera that they could possibly do in logic if the big key is not in the basement. But logic right now is subjective because we have the hookshot and boots, so we can just Hera pot if we really want to. And then there's a pod dip. There's an eastern dip. We've already gotten a dip of desert, which was nothing. You could dip into TR if you really wanted to see at least one check.
Yeah. Whoa! We weren't talking about it, but Fire Rod. We were both watching Ice Palace.
Yeah,
Catfish.
Fire Rod on Catfish.
What? We were both expecting something to come out of the right side. I think we were both watching those two runners, and nope.
So Fire Rod now opens up a lot more in TR.
And technically, it actually makes Tower of Hera possible in logic.
Yeah, that's Skullwoods as well. So that opens up some real good options for you. I would finish off Skullwoods first, saying, "Okay, I've got Fire Rod. Let's go. Just beat it." And then I might go up the mountain to go. Okay, Hera's green pendant. That's 2 items. I also have Spike Cave. That's 3. And with Fire Rod, depending upon key logic, I can get all the way through Laser Bridge. And if I'm lucky, Ice Rod's in TR, and I can just complete TR.
TR without Ice Rod is just one of those really sketchy feelings as you do it.
There's our second bottle! Gold Stare!
Are you kidding me? What is Ice Palace doing with all our bottles? We will not see another bottle from these two runners. If we see another bottle and try to find out where it was, we're going to have to find out from the other runners.
As Roach picks up the book, that's also another check we can make up the mountain, is the tablet next to Hera. So the mountain right now actually probably is our in-logic density play, simply because of the 2 dungeon access and the other stuff we can do along with it. But I would still do Skullwoods first. As we're getting a Desert Palace clear with that Fire Rod as well.
Just for any people also newer to this mode, there's 4 swords placed. We can only get 3. 2 of our runners already at Tempered Sword. Armor's capped at blue. Our runners already have it. 4 bottles placed, caps at 2. We already have 2 bottles on the right side. We already found the half magic that's replaced by a small magic decanter. We found like almost everything that's been taken out of this game now. Like, we're going to be finding a lot of 5 rupees.
The sick kid just had a broken heart, so those bottles completely useless. So I'm going to go on ahead and put on my big hat prediction machine. I'm predicting flippers are in TR.
Oh, you would do that to our runners?
I mean, that's where flippers like to be with this kind of layout. I would be shocked if they were anywhere else. So,
well, here's the thing: we could just not find them.
Oh yeah, but I mean, they have to be in logic somewhere because Ice Palace was a crystal. So,
sure. Argus is in logic.
Well, once you find the flippers.
Oh, you're right. We need flippers. Oh, right. Okay, never mind.
That's what I'm saying. Is that Ice Palace?
My brain turned off there for a second. I take that back. I don't listen to me. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Ice Palace is a crystal. We need to clear it, and logically, you need the flippers to access them.
Yeah.
We don't need them, but if the seed is saying, "Hey, you need to go somewhere to get your logical progression to finish the seed," you need the flippers somewhere, and I'm guessing flippers are in TR.
Oh man, that's.
As Alex is going to go get his fire rod here momentarily once he's done with the pyramid.
I just gotta say, we have 3 runners in desert.
I was going to bring that up. What's amazing is that Matt and Alex decided to do Ice Palace out of logic. Roach and CRL stayed in logic, got their fire rod, which opened up way more things for them. It's almost like this race has flipped. 15 minutes ago, you'd say Matt and Alex have a nice little cushion on Roach and CRL because of how they've routed things, and then, bang, you do something out of logic that, yeah, you need to do, but it doesn't give you anything, and an item that would make that dungeon significantly easier is somewhere that you could have done in logic. Now, you're flipped over. That's a beautiful part of Rando, is that these sorts of things happen. It's the great equalizer.
I 100% agree with you. I just have to go slightly off topic for a second, in that, like, none of our runners picked up the bug net. That's so sad.
We don't need it. We're okay. We'll have rupees for blue potions and a flute. We're just fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, no, but it just feels so bad to leave the bug net in its cave all alone with no one to use it or play with it.
Roach is heading over to do Graveyard Ledge. CRL is going back inside to look for the other item. We get a fire rod over on Alex's side. Matt is heading towards Spike Cave. Spike Cave is our only new check going forward. Probably, I would be surprised if Matt doesn't do Hera first here, simply because you could do it. It's green pendant. You might as well, and then just hit Spike Cave and pull the tablet first. So. That's not a bad play from Matt's side.
Yeah. I just kind of feel bad for Matt. Matt's made so many really good plays that have actually turned out so well, and is currently being blocked by a catfish of all things. Oh my god. I swear, Matt has found all of the items in the right order. Everything has been perfect, but he has to go to catfish.
Oh, you were talking about no bug net. CRL is picking up their bug net.
Hey! Someone got the bug net.
As Alex is going to feel slightly sour finding a sword upgrade here in Skull Woods.
Yeah.
As Matt's just going to Hera pot here. He's got the big key, so you can go ahead and just knock out the big chest here.
Alex isn't going to find the sword until after Mothula.
That stinks. Oh well.
That feels bad. Tempered Sword versus Master Sword Mothula is just so drastically different.
It's okay. If you get a nice little poke off, as we find a heart container inside the big chest of Hera. If you get a good poke off and you're good with your fire rod shots, you can take them off relatively easily.
Yeah, unfortunately, not too many hits available just due to the.
There's the bow!
Yeah, wow, okay.
So a sword and a bow sitting in Skullwoods.
Weapons dealer Skullwoods?
The armory was actually a mothery.
Armory. That's the word I was looking for. I couldn't come up with the word.
As it looks like we have an item in the basement of Hera.
Oh no. No one's doing that, right? Or, you know what? Look, if Matt does it, it's going to be an ice rod. Nope. Okay.
As Roach takes the lead with the crystal lead at 3 currently. Not far behind is Alex. The difference is a desert and an ice palace crystal.
It seems that we were being told by one of our trackers, Jinxie Girl, that both items are found in.
Okay, thank you, Jinxie. I didn't see the first item in Hera, so.
So, big shout out and thank you to our 2 trackers, Jinxie Girl and Terry Pegula. Again, I apologize if I mispronounced that, but for helping us out here. The trackers are the big star of the show here. After the runners, of course. You know, give the runners a follow. Give them your support coming up here.
Yeah, we're just the big losers, the people who just sit back, laugh, and you get to hear us laugh.
Yeah, I mean, hey, look, the runners are the big star. They allow us to put them up and everybody to watch them. It is huge.
Roach doing something interesting here, doing Ice Palace before doing Eastern. Okay. I mean, it makes sense. You could do it.
I mean, I don't mind this.
Yeah, you could do it. Might as well do it.
And yeah, I Chad is pointing out that Matt actually did not have a fire source to actually do the basement. So
yeah, so well, I missed the first item in here, so that's why I was like, oh no, is there something in the basement?
No, but when I was saying, you know, with Matt's luck, with everything else he's been checking, if he actually checks it, it'll be important. Like, Matt's gone out of his way to find so many items in a weird order that's been so perfect, and just... Oop! Roach trying the Tempered Sword with Hookshot. Slightly missed.
Alright, we get ourselves a look into Swamp Palace here. Matt's saying, well, I got these slippers, they're in logic. Everything else is kind of in logic, too. Okay, let me do this, I guess.
What do we really need? Let's discuss that. Like, what do we need to go? Ice Rod?
Ether. Ice Rod Ether. I don't know how comfy CRL or Roach is with Dark Rooms in Mire, but I'm sure Alex and Matt are A-okay without a lamp. But yeah, you've got Eastern's clearable, Desert's clearable. We've already got 3 other crystals. A couple of them done out of logic. Alright, so now that we found flippers on tablet, I'll go ahead and change my prediction hat, and I will say our Mire medallion is sitting in TR. Because that also likes to happen.
So chat has mentioned that Pet is dead. Did I miss a Pet check?
Pet would be dead. I guess Ether could be there.
Ether could be there unless
Shrod
someone checked
could be
it. So
there.
I assume someone checked. Yeah.
So yeah, Pet's not bad.
Runners checked it. I missed it. Alex checked it and it's bombs.
Okay.
I figured with chat saying that it must be dead because technically Ether could be there otherwise.
As we're going into the back
Thank
with
you.
Matt.
Sorry, I was just going to say thank you, chat. We appreciate you guys too.
Yeah. I rarely ever check Ped. Even when I have beer and I'm right there, I'm just like, I don't want to check it. If I'm doing Ped, I'm doing Ped.
No, I like checking it with Skullwoods if I have book and mirror. Like, it's just a great way to know if you actually have to just go do the pendant dungeons.
That was Sank Heart and Piece of Heart inside of the flooded room of Swamp Palace. We found 5 items so far in Swamp Palace. We might just get one more, and it might be a God Swamp Palace for us. But for Matt, that's bad news. As long as it's, you know, Ice Rod or Ether, it was a good play.
Like, I 100% get the swamp play. Like, it's so dense. But, like, that feels bad. Just, ooh, we are getting the fast-tempered strat. Man, look at that. Look at that fight on Matt's side.
Since he doesn't have a rod or bow to do the quick strat with.
Yeah, but I mean, what was that? What was that phase 1? That was a perfect phase 1 if I've seen one.
And, yeah, Swamp was nothing. Thanks, game.
Man,
Actually,
Matt is showing us how to do Argus, though. Like, wow.
And Matt's going to be like, well, I killed and did Swamp for nothing. Well, at least it was fast. Don't have to go back in for an item. Oh, CRL taking a death to Mothula.
Chad is mentioning that Matt had a perfect cold stare fight too. Unfortunately, I was looking away at that moment, but Roach is going in for cold stare right now. Got 2 into the corner. Gonna get 1 dead right there, I think. Yep, pretty good. Gonna get a second one in this corner, I think.
And it looks as though Matt is going to be heading into a pod dip here without the bow, which is in the back of Skullwood, which is locked by Fire Rod, which is currently sitting on Catfish.
I mean, again, I get it. Like, you want to do this before you go all the way up to Catfish. What percentage of seeds does Catfish actually have? that one required item. It can't be that high. It doesn't feel that high.
Since Catfish is technically just logically locked by just Dark World access with gloves and hammer, it's actually in the earlier sphere for Dark World checks. Now, it depends upon the seed. We happen to have Titansmith's access to Dark World and Finding Hammer and Hype Cave. But it's one of those things. It's either sphere, what would be sphere 4 or 5, technically, at max. It's just a very hard check to kind of route in, especially if you sequence break or have already Zora and Logic or anything like that. So,
I do just want to mention Roach threading the needle there between two dead rocks. I thought I was going to get stuck, but let's continue this conversation.
Is Roach doing Tablet Spike Cave and heading over to TR? If I was Roach, I wouldn't be touching Hera at all. I maybe check the first 2 checks, but that's it.
I mean, it's a pretty fast trip up.
It's an interesting call for his position. For Matt, it made sense. You really don't have that much to check. It's multiple items versus the 1 item on Catfish.
I mean, here's the thing, though. You're looking for Ice Rod. What if Ice Rod's in Tower of Hera?
I wouldn't worry about that until I find everything else, honestly.
But,
and we're on a medallion and Ice Rod hunt.
But, like, here's the thing. If you find Ice Rod, how long does Tower of Hera take you to clear for these 2 items?
Here's my argument against that. You have Eastern. He has the bow. You have Eastern. It's a crystal.
Yeah, okay. I mean, fair. I don't know why Eastern wouldn't be done. But if you're going to come up here anyways to go do that, I think this makes a lot of sense to do first. Because if this ends up with the Ice Rod, then you're saving a lot of time in Turtle Rock in the end.
Which we happened to see what the green pendant was. It was nothing.
That's a piece of heart. We know that. But hey, you know...
Yeah, it's a hard judgment call. I don't mind it if you're going to say, okay, I'll turn this in when I go do Eastern, but that's a lot of time and a lot of commitment to...
Yeah, I wonder if that was the idea, but you're right. That feels like a lot of effort for a green pendant.
Yeah, it's a lot, and it's not that hard to get back over to Sasra with the flute. And on top of that, you can go, okay, well, if nothing's in Eastern, well, I have pot I can do.
Yeah, and even then, you could think about something like if you do Eastern first and it's nothing, and you do this, you could do Turtle Rock, and if you really want to turn in the green pendant before you go to pod, and you can save your portal at the end, and if it happens to be on green pendant, then you have your portal anyways, and if not, then you go into pod. Roach is having a little bit of issue with
that Trolldorm.
Boldorm.
Ain't anymore Boldorm.
I mean, some days Boldorm just does that.
I once had, in a race, I had Boldorm 2 stuck in a corner for 27 seconds. I went back and I looked and I timed it. He just bounced back and forth for 27 seconds in the same corner. I was so mad.
Yeah. Well, hey, my favorite one is if anybody has issues with Mothula, play Boss Shuffle, get it in Boldorm's Arena. That's one of the fun places.
As we're getting the out of logic checks here in the Dark Maze, let me describe this to you. I see nothing. Nothing on Matt's side. I see sparkles, maybe some Dodongo fire, lots of sparkles, and looks like nothing. All right, so Matt has found nothing here on Pod so far. He's got one more check to do, which is the vanilla big key chest. And it looks like it's going to be an item. Simply because of our key count. Let's see what it is. As we're going to go into TR. There we go, Roach. There's the Ether Medallion. There it is.
Believes immediately. That's interesting.
He's checked everything. He doesn't have the bow to complete. As we had two... It could be.
Did he check bottle side? Because I wasn't looking at him.
Yeah, he had a potion. He potion glitched.
Oh, he did. Okay, so he did check right side. Okay, so that's fine then.
Yeah. So Alex finds the Quake inside a pod as Matt did, but he's going to be super happy finding the Ether Medallion inside the Vanilla Big Key chest. Roach going through TR. Let's see what he do and finds inside of the Turtle Rock. Oh, he missed a torch. Oh, that hurts. Oh, that hurts. If he's fast enough, he can make it, though. Gotta shoot, menu, hook shot. I don't think he's going to make it. I don't think he's going to make it. It's going to be close. Don't close. Don't close. Oh!
Gonna need to pick up that full magic, but that's okay. Easy enough to get multiple full magics in this particular dungeon. It expects you to use a lot of magic in here. Nice, fast hook shot.
So, just based upon small keys and items here, I think it looks like Helmasaur has an item. Maybe Jinxie can confirm or deny this. I would ask her to confirm or deny if I'm an idiot, but that's just a solid yes. Alright, there's a big key, so we can go deeper. We've got plenty of small keys. We've got 2 small keys and the big key, which means this might have been a God TR. So yeah, Helma has an item.
No, hell. We are getting some conversations in chat about what Helma has. We will find out.
Alright, it looks as though...
Oh, wow. That's where the lamp was? The lamp was guarded by chain chomps. That's a location.
I mean, we had access to it early.
Yeah, but chain chomp room early?
I mean, it's better than the roller room. I've seen it in there. I have had a validation lamp before. You heard me. I had validation lamp. I know you're processing that at the moment. How did he have lamp and validation chest in GT? I did. As we're entering Mire here over on Alex's side.
That can have... Oh, yeah, it can. I was like, I'm thinking about it. So what? You would have had like Pod Turok Meyer pennants.
Yep.
Yeah. No, but I mean, in that case, you don't need it. So that's.
I didn't need it.
I was like, there's got to be a way to get that because it means that you didn't need them. So yeah. Yes, Matt. Yes.
I did have to go into the basement of Pod, though, with the fire rod, so... I think a medallion was there or something.
But hold on, Matt's doing it. Matt's getting the fire rod.
Yeah, he's just going to be a little bit behind our other runners. He does fortunately have the Ether Medallion, but he's going to have to take a double dip into Eastern. Yeah, as runners, we make a conscious choice to choose what our last location is going to be. For a lot of the higher-end runners, Catfish is a hard last location. And unfortunately for Matt, that's what's happened. Oh, he's going to pick up the shovel. I'm going to say, okay, well, maybe something dumb's on the shovel.
Can you, if that's Ice Rod, can you imagine? Oh, well, there goes that.
That's our no mode. We know where Ice Rod's at. We know where our Meyer medallion's at.
My literal comment was, can you imagine if that's Ice Rod, and the moment I finish that sentence, Roach opens Ice Rod?
You
That's
always,
not what I meant, game.
You always plan for Ice Rod being in or near TR. That is always the call, especially when you're getting this late. You're going, I'm an hour and I haven't found Ice Rod. Ice Rod has to be somewhere involved with TR. We've checked a lot of things, and the only thing required that we found in a pendant dungeon was our Meyer medallion.
Man. Okay.
See, I would love this.
That is not go mode. That is no mode for us. That's no mode for us. But that is not go mode because Roach does not have ether.
Yeah, it's a question of when does Alex decide to go ahead and go up to TR, which is a very valid question.
Everyone else has it. Pod?
It is in Pod Big Key Chest.
It is in Pod. Okay. We are going to get a safety door.
Yeah, we don't have. Technically, this is not in logic without the mirror shield or some sort of invincibility. So we're going to see dash strats from Roach here. Might take a death or two just trying to be extra cautious and make sure they get the chests.
Personally, I prefer the stutter step. It's an easy one, and you can always do it whether or not you have boots.
As we're getting a quick vitreous fight here from Alex. Must have found one item pretty easily, or it was a Godmire. There's that small key for Roach. Still looking for that Meyer medallion. Going to look for everything else here. That's a map. And this is going to be probably an item. Piece of heart. Hey, it's a refill. Nice. As Alex pulls ahead in the crystal count. Currently sitting at 5. Number 6 is going to be relatively soon. He's going to dip back inside looking for Ice Rod in Meyer. Makes sense. If you God-mired it, there's 2 items left. Don't want to gamble it. Being a little cautious.
If you got, depending on how it all goes, like it's good to sometimes just get to the boss, see what's there, and figure out how much you have left.
See, I'm an idiot. If I had a Godmire, I would have said, okay, well, this just means Ice Rod's in TR. And I would have left the 2 items. But because I would be racing this, Ice Rod would be here, and I'd be like, well, where's Ice Rod now?
As Trinix is blowing up here on Roach's side.
Yeah, we know what Roach has to do next, which is head into Pod to get the Meyer medallion, and then he will be in go mode. Match checking pet here, just bombs. As Roach has tied up the crystal count now. Just has Eastern Meyer left to do.
Yeah, so Roach here, to be clear, at 5. Alex at 5. CRL at 3. And Matt at 3.
Roach had actually,
interestingly, Alex and Roach both at 5, not with the same dungeons, and Matt and CRL both at 3, not with the same dungeons.
As we found either armor or sword as our second item inside of Meyer. We also found 2 full heart containers too, so it could be a heart container. But Roach is heading into Eastern here. Oh, Roach, no, you needed to do... Oh, go Dark World and... That's okay, it's just a quick flip back. That's not too bad. It's a little inefficiency, but, it's a 7-second kind of inefficiency, so no big deal. As Matt is heading into Meyer. They're going to be looking for items too. This is a question of, like I said, when Alex decides to hit TR for the Ice Rod inside of Mimic Cave. Because the next best thing to being in your home is being in your next door neighbor's garage. CRL not far behind, doing Eastern Palace. Gonna clear out Armos here, having their 4th crystal of the seed. And Matt electing to go ahead and just kill Vitreous.
I was just gonna say, Armos is such a nice fight when you have silvers.
So is Lambola.
Yes, but Lanmo requires a lot more timing than Armos.
Alright, there's 4th crystal for CRL. As Matt is navigating these dark rooms in Mire. These are definitely the worst dark rooms. That first Mire dark room is not fun. Those fire spitters are jerks. Yeah, Matt, you used a red block to hit the switch, and unless you kicked up dust, your spooky is gone. Nice attempt, though.
Really easy thing to forget there, that you have to kick up dust. I've more than once set everything up, had everything perfect, and forgotten to hit A before dropping it.
When I'm doing it in the dark, I don't even worry about doing spooky. I know I'm going to be using stuff that will cancel it out to hit switches, so that way I can progress forward safely. So,
yeah,
like I said, it's a nice attempt, but he used the red cane to go ahead and hit the switch. If he would have used like red boomerang, a silver arrow, hook shot, he would have been able to keep his spooky glitch. As long as he put down the red block properly in the first room.
Yeah, it's that first room that messes me up, though. You gotta get a little bit of practice in there just to make sure it's consistent.
So, if you're curious about that, what you need to be is, so if you're hugging the wall left, if you look at your sword sparkles, you need to move your sword sparkles 4 pixels right, and then you'll be lined up perfectly. And you could be left 1 or right 1, and the switch will still work.
Yeah, no, getting it down, it's just the timing of the getting the boots into the Samaria timing is actually a little bit harder than it appears on screen. Until you get used to it.
So yeah, honestly, just so item dashing, you have to hit the item action move and the dash button at the same time. For the Samaria block deletion, because that's technically what it is, you're occupying the Samaria block ID with the dust you kick up. You got to kick your dust up first and then put the block down. It's not at the same time.
Yep.
So it's actually just a nice little A to X motion, or an A to Y. I'm sorry, it's Y. Sorry. You have, when you have 30 plus years of gaming controllers between different consoles, you always forget which button's which. So, yeah, it's an A to Y versus AY. As Alex is heading into TR, he's going to find his Ice Rod in Mimic Cave as long as he does Mimic Cave. Which, I wouldn't imagine why you wouldn't do Mimic Cave.
Yeah, with these items, yeah, it doesn't make sense. You gotta just keep doing it. Gotta keep clearing.
As Matt went back inside of Mire to see what the 2 items were, they were nothing. And there's our Quake Medallion on our Bombos tablet. That's going to be doing Desert here momentarily. Makes sense. He's putting off Eastern because he knows Eastern boss just has a map for him. And Alex putting out those Fury swipes. Where's that Ice Rod? See RL doing some evaluation. What is it that I can do? Where do I need to go? Oh, I have Mire access.
No.
I mean, Tracker has him. He has both medallions. He has Red Cane. Why Mire's a crystal? He might have it mismarked on his tracker. Let me see.
Yeah, it could be a lamp issue.
Yeah, it could be a lamp issue too. Okay, so he's got everything tracked right and properly on his tracker. No, he's got hair marked as a crystal.
Oh, that would do it. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. His tracker only has 2 pendants on it. That could be that's probably why.
All right, so that would explain the decision from CRL currently, as Matt is heading to do Dig Spot, looking for Ice Rod. We know Ice Rod is currently sitting in Mimic Cave, which Alex Jazz is momentarily going to be finding as he finds the lamp in Chomp Room.
What a location, though. Like that's just a few rooms ahead of the dark room.
As Roach is heading into Swamp? No? Checking a tablet? Okay, checking a tablet. This makes a little bit of sense. Do this and then head to pod, I guess?
Kind of curious what CRL's going to do when he realizes that this is a pendant.
And Roach
Probably
is
look
going,
at his
that's
tracker.
the wrong medallion! You're gonna have to mirror, buddy. Yep. Fell down the hole and the cameras, didn't want to pan. The camera is so weird in Hera. I don't know. Okay, I just want to talk about this for a minute, if I can. Okay? As we're seeing stuff that we've already seen before. Hera camera function is weird. And it's bad. I don't know how they thought that it was appropriate. It's not like this stuff is not hard to unlock. You know? Just one of the weird quirks of this game is just going, really? Okay, I guess that's okay. All right.
Look at where Alex is.
Yep, Mimic Cave. We're going to be getting our Ice Rod here, and we're going to be entering Go mode. Unfortunately, Alex doesn't have a timer, so we're going to have to use Matt's for our Ice Rod Go mode. And at
Yeah, Matt and Rich are
1:15.
within a second.
Yeah, 1:15:45.
Ish. Yep.
Yeah, Alex Jazz gets the Ice Rod, which puts him in Go mode. With 1 crystal left to clear. Don't get me wrong, Terry, I love this game. It's just like Houlihan. Okay, that makes sense. That's a nice little Easter egg. That's a fail-safe, you know, doing, you know, icebreaker. Who, you know, what kid is going to do it that way? But the Hera camera, that's how it was designed to function. Why?
Wait, did CRL did not beat Moldor?
No. No, just decided that green pendant not worth.
But
I could have.
he has it marked as a crystal.
He might have remembered it's a green pendant. Who knows? I don't know. If he comes in for an interview, we may be able to ask him. Which, by the way, you can follow these.
I can confirm that. I can confirm that he still has it marked as a crystal.
But Terry brings it up in the chat. Let's see. Ethan brings it up in the chat with the new randomizer update. Thank you, entrance randomizer players. You see that little P in the top left corner next to his magic bar and the little C in Alex Jazz's top left? That tells you that you are currently listening to pendant or crystal music because...
Oh. You know what? Thank you for that, because I've made that mistake way too many times. That's cool. The P versus the C. That's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, for the entrance randomizer people who want a clarification and don't want to learn all the MSU music as to what is crystal and pendant, you know, I would have taken Forced Ice Rod and TR, but, you know, hey, can't always get what you want.
That's cool, the P versus C.
I can't.
That definitely helps in those moments you get into a dungeon and have forgotten to check a map for some of our, maybe of our newer players. I mean, I've done that too many times personally. But it's nice. You're in that dungeon. You don't want to leave to try to figure out if it was a pendant or a crystal. You just look up and figure it out, and then you'll deal with the rest later.
See, I have yet to play a Key Sanity mode with it, so I don't know if it exists in Key Sanity or not, or if it's just deleted in that mode.
I would assume it works similar to what's on the map. If you have the map, it'll tell you, and if you don't, it won't.
Okay,
but
which would be a good thing.
I could be totally wrong. Jinxie Girl is confirming that my assumption is correct. Basically, if it shows up on your map, it'll show up in the game, which makes sense.
That's our 7th final. Christopher Alex, it's time to play GT Big Key. Guessing our bot's not working, so 1 through 22 for imaginary internet points. Go now! Do you have a number?
I always say 8.
I go with 14.
And Alex in there. No, Alex and Matt had a lot of very similar things over time, but the big difference was that fire rod. That fire rod really helped out Alex.
Yeah, like I said, as runners, we all choose what is going to be our last location. Catfish is a common one. Graveyard Ledge is a common one. Island Island.
Ledge, yep.
Hobo is a very common last location. Just anything that takes more than 20 seconds to get over to, that you can't do fast. You just kind of leave it there and you go, I hope it's not there.
So, you know, I said 8, or one of our trackers has also said 8, so you know where it gets worked together there. I think you said 14.
Yep.
There's also one of our viewers with 14 too. So, there's a death on Cold Stare for CRL.
Yeah, that stinks. That's such a long way back, even with Icebreaker.
Yeah, that is a long walk.
As we get check number 3. Number 4 is a cape. Number 5 is a red rupee. And number 6 is another red rupee. We do have silvers and a cape. Does Alex Jazz go full right here? Nope, we're going to hybrid right. We're going to go check Bob's torch, which is going to be number 7.
Yeah, I like this. There's more things here.
Number 7 is a small key. Rip Bob. We're going to see if it happens to be beyond check number 16. We're going to see Bob's cousin Pop.
CRL having a little bit of issues with that switch, but gets it.
Number 8.
Oh, there it is. 8. Hey! I got it!
Congratulations to Terry, our tracker, and to my co-commentator, Zethno, for winning imaginary internet points that are good and only redeemable 24 minutes after this rando stream has ended.
I always say 8. I think that is the first time I've ever actually gotten 8. That's okay.
The fix was in. They conspired to make numeral 8 the correct number. As we're going to get a big red bomb check here from Roach. Roach being very, very thorough going through, doing Swamp Palace, doing all of this, looking for that Meyer medallion. It just stinks that it's in pod. The front of pod.
The one dungeon he hasn't done. Like, look at the tracker. He's done everything but.
Yep. Yep, that's how it goes. That's how it be.
Some days, unfortunately, you just pick the wrong one, and that's it.
Some days you're the boots. Other days you're the Meyer medallion suck-in pod big key chest.
You know, generally we don't discuss... we didn't mention this at the starting of this race, which we normally do, but I forgot. We are restreaming these 4 runners, but this is a race of 21 different runners. And although we normally don't discuss the finishers off screen before anyone is finished, I just want to say no one's done.
Yeah, Alex has probably got himself.
Alex has a
this.
very good potential to win this 21-person race tonight.
You know, until you bonk into the spikes in the middle of Gauntlet 2.
Hey, you know what? This could just be it. Like, normally we don't discuss it, but the fact that no one else has finished is this brings it very close here.
As it looks like Alex is going to do Fire Rod and Spin Strats here. 1 Silver Arrow will take care of these Lamolas, if you could get the timing just right.
That timing's tricky, though.
Yeah, it's a little bit tricky. It depends upon how quickly you get through the previous room, how well you use the sound cues for Lamola. But essentially what I like to call a cycle and a half, he's all good with.
Oh! What?
CRL. He was looking for a magic refill.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Goes back into the room, takes a second death, and Ice Palace. This is...
Yeah, it looked like he ran out of magic and was trying to bomb jump.
Yeah, he was definitely in that room, and he went back 1 room and walked into a spike. Well, Roach is in the right place.
As Matt is also heading into GT here after defeating Trinex.
Yeah, one of our trackers confirming that he only had 1 health, so he couldn't bomb jump.
Yeah, that's interesting though, because if he had any little bit of magic with the red can, you could just icebreaker again. As Roach is heading into pod here, going, okay, where's my freaking medallion? Come on. Is it in the back? I don't know. I've got 3 keys right now. Do I go check the big chest, big key chest? Yeah, I go do that. And he's gonna find his go mode. As Alex Jazz enters into Moldorm 2 Electric Boogaloo, takes him down with the sword spin. Gonna hook shot across the validation chest. Says, I don't need it. Nothing in that will help me at all. You jerk.
Did Matt go straight left?
Yes.
Oh, this is gonna be a 2.
He might have done hope. Yeah, he went straight left because he's got the small key off of Bob's torch, got the small key off the hammer room, and then just went right to get the key. So.
I was curious. Nobody guessed 2 though, so nobody thought it was gonna be in that chest from that perspective. You know, we only generally play it with the first person, but I was curious.
A couple of doubles on Alex's side on this mean wizard man. 1 there. 2-2-1-1 will get the job done here. As we're gonna go fight a pig. We're gonna slap him with the bacon sword. He plays the song of his people. It calls a magical duck. And we got ourselves a Ganon fight.
To comment, yeah, Matt was gonna go into Staphos' room and then right, which is actually a very common strat. But finds the big key immediately, definitely saves some time.
And here we go. We got a pick a fight. 12 swings or 6 spins in phase 1 and phase 2. We'll push it to phase 3 with 4 swipes. We've got silver arrows. A swing and 4 arrows will kill Ganon. There is no need to do a torch glitch today. We can just use a fire rod, light the torches, and just kind of...
What just happened on Alex's side?
He glitched the pig and hit the pig and made him stop while he was technically starting to teleport, and sometimes that causes him to freeze.
I have never seen this before.
Yeah, Alex gonna have to be careful with his magic use. He will have to light the torches at least once, maybe twice, if he doesn't get torch glitch. As we've got a teleporting pig here. So, water doll. So he moves between both space and time. As he keeps going, he's teleporting.
There's a lot of teleports there.
That is a lot. What was that? 9, 10.
I wasn't. Sometimes I count. Today I wasn't counting, but man, I should have been.
There is no maximum to teleports on that phase. He can just, it's 50-50.
Okay, there's one hit. Ooh, interesting. Not going to go for the double hit here.
He's got the blue potions. If you get a little bit lucky, you could put the pig down, and then bam, bam, and down he goes. Get your GGs in chat.
Wait, but yeah, that was very well done. Get your GGs in chat. Alex Jess, assuming that he crosses this bridge, very, very dangerous bridge, will finish first on Restream and does finish first on Restream with a time of 1:28.24. Unfortunately, does come second in a race of 21 runners. Big Dunka does finish at 1:27.45, about 40 seconds earlier. And 1 minute after Alex Dress, we do have Blaine finishing with 1:29.24. Exactly 1 minute later. We have our top 3 runners tonight.
Yeah, as Roach kills Vitreous, gets a key for a reward, says, okay, well, no, I have to make a tower climb. And we'll get to that. CRL is going to be heading to Meyer as well. Just finding the Meyer medallion. Right, I go into Meyer. You go to Meyer.
We are joined by Alex Jess too, as Matt is in Agatu. GG.
Thank you, guys.
Really well-ran race from you, Alex. Just kind of go through your thought process, going through the seed where a couple of the items were kind of in rough spots. The Ether Medallion, Red Canine K45, Hammer, that Hype Cave with Hammer and Mirror, and Fire Rod on Catfish.
Yeah, that was really a good Hype Cave. I agree with that, yes.
See,
I don't know. That was a kind of a great seed, I think.
Something we'll probably discuss when Matt joins in. An interesting thing, Matt actually skipped Turtle Rock and went and did Hype Cave and Smith first, and actually got the Hammer and Mirror before doing Turtle Rock or Skull Woods.
Oh, you mean Thieves Town, right?
Or Thieves Town, Turtle Rock. Yeah, Thieves Town and Skull Woods. Sorry about that.
No worries. I was always wondering if the last item in Thieves Town was something. I mean,
it was 20 rupees.
Oh, okay, that's all right then.
I mean, if it was something important, Matt would have had a huge advantage, but the rest of you did pretty well because it ended up being absolutely nothing.
Yeah, I really thought
Matt's actually being trolled by Ganon teleports, by the way.
I really thought going out. I mean, I really thought going out of Thieves Town after the first 4 chests because, of course, 4 items on the back, right?
Yeah, of course.
Sorry, what was your question?
How did you feel about the Ganon teleports? Because Matt's just dealing with them right now.
Oh yeah, that was crazy. Yes, I didn't even count how much he did, but it was like maybe 7 or 8, something like this.
It was at least 8. It was a while because he ended up stopped at the bottom for you, and he was kind of halfway on the platform, so that would have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He did at least 6, 7. Yeah, it was at least 8, so it may have been 9 total teleports.
I do have to jump in here. Get your GGs in chat to our viewers for Matt7898, who is holding up the sword, crossing the bridge, does finish second on our restream, 4th overall, 1:31.40 as a final time.
As Roach gets his big key at number 2, he's going to be making that climb up the gauntlet. So, for you, Alex, coming into this, this is the SGL live settings for the big tournament going on. That's just started qualifiers today. Kind of go over what you think about the mode. Non-progressive bows, you're limited to how many bottles you have, and hearts, mail, and swords. What do you think of it?
Yeah, that's a pretty nice. That's some settings that are not usual. So, and of course the Silver's arrows were like one of the first chests in the seed. But That's really nice to play. I guess it's kind of a little bit different, and I really like casual boots, so it's kind of the same with a little bit of extra. So it's pretty nice.
Speaking of which, are you in the qualifiers for the SGL tournament or?
Yes, I am, but I didn't do the 12 p.m. this today, I think. So, but I'll do it for sure. Give it a try. Let's see what happens.
I just want to say. Oh, sorry, I thought you were done.
No,
Continue.
sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna welcome Matt to the comm booth here, who's joined us. Just wanted to say GG.
Hey, how's it going?
GG, Matt.
GG's.
I just want to comment, Matt, throughout the whole thing, you were finding some items that play to skip Turtle Rock. I've done that like 3 times in the interviews now. Thieves Town, early to find that hammer and mirror. How did that one feel?
I mean, it was fine. Like, I didn't have the mirror, so I was going to pick up the smith anyway, so you're going to go right back there, so you might as well skip it and then just go back in because you could find hammer on your path.
It really felt like you made a lot of plays that paid off extremely well to find a lot of items. We thought you had a really good overall advantage in a lot of ways, and then that fire rod happened.
Yeah, like, so the problem was that after Hype Cave, I might have gone to Pyramid and Catfish, but the problem is that I knew that shovel was on Zorledge, and at that point in time, I had no way of getting it. So I decided to kind of put that off. But I guess, like, if you go to Pod in this seed before you go to Hera, you just never find the flippers and never go to Swamp. So that, like, it was just kind of that coin flip, I guess, which made a pretty big difference.
Speaking of that flippers, which were on the Ether tablet, both you and Alex, Matt, were in Ice Palace at the same time. You guys had a couple decisions to make as to where you were going to go next. Kind of go through your thought process of how you eliminated what you were going to do and ended up going, okay, Ice Palace is where I want to be.
Well, I mean, the flipperless Ice Palace play, like, you had really nothing good to do, right? You couldn't get into Mire, you had no fire source for Desert, you had no bow for Pod, you had no bow for Eastern, you had no fire rod for Skull. Most of the overworld was already cleared up, so there was really only bad decisions, and there's a lot of good things you could get in Ice Palace, right? You could find your fire rod, you could find your bow, so that seemed like an obvious play at the time. And then after that, it was kind of tough, right? Like, there's only one bow in this mode, so Pod's value, especially if you go there and it's bow locked, is a lot lower. So the kind of Desert into Hera play just kind of felt like the right thing to do because you could go to the Pod Eastern area and very easily find nothing.
And how about for you, Alex? What was your thought process in kind of going through Ice?
I think he's right. I mean, we know we need to do it no matter what. So I was hoping not finding flippers after that. I mean, with the Ether tablet, I was like, do I go back in Swamp? I don't think so. I'll get the guess of Turtle Rock. So I think that's why I did the play. So.
Yeah, that Ice Rod being in Mimic Cave, I was talking about how I just kind of assume as I'm getting deeper and deeper into a seed that Ice Palace is probably in TR somewhere, probably, or locked by something in TR.
Yeah, well, at that point, I knew it was in TR because I had cleared every single location in the game outside of TR, so there's no surprises for me.
Yeah, and both of you elected to go ahead and check the 2 items in Mire after finding the big key in the spike switch room. Kind of go through your thought process with that of electing to not orphan those checks and play it but not so much safe, but just a little bit more conservative instead of risking that Ice Rod in TR.
I guess I'll go. Well, for me, I only had the 2 checks in Mire, the dig spot, and TR left. So there was only potentially 7 locations because there could be an item locked behind the Ice Rod on Trinex. So there's, in my eyes, a 2 in 7 chance that the Ice Rod was there. And, like, if it's there and you skip it, and there's a pretty high probability at that point, you're just completely screwing yourself. So in my position, I kind of had to go back in.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, I only had the mountain left, so I had the Hera. I didn't have the flippers, so I was thinking just go there. go to mountain and do that play if needed.
I'm just going to jump in here quickly, just bringing attention back to our current finishing up runners. Roach is in the Ganon fight, and CRL has just gotten the Swamp Pendant, unfortunately, which we know gave nothing in that dungeon.
Yeah, this is interesting from CRL. He's looking for Ice Rod, but has elected to do both Hera and Swamp Palace before going into Pod, and then an extension doing the Mire Crystal.
I was shocked Swamp was empty. Like, I was 4 items from go mode and did not have a lot left when I went in there.
Yeah, our Flippers dungeons had 2 bottles, and that was it.
Wow.
At least Swamp was the nice layout, right? It gave you all the items.
Yes.
And the big key map compass were the big chests and the 2 west sides, so
Yeah,
it wasn't
what
as bad as it could have been.
What a seed to have the best Swamp Palace layout. So we get a Frozen Pig, 1 Silver Arrow, Torch Glitch from Roach. Gonna find where that Baconator is sitting at. Shoots another Silver Arrow. Gets a nice double to finish it off.
And get your GGs in chat for Roach, who has defeated Ganon, holding up the sword. Just a little bit of a quick note. Since Matt finished, we did have off-stream Vortex of Doom finish in 5th, Ashdur finish in 6th, Koi finish in 7th, and Roach, who finished 3rd on Restream, finished 8th overall with a time of 1:39.21. As a note, that's about 2.5 minutes behind. Wow. Okay, 9th place has been finished immediately after. 8 seconds later, Aku Haish, I think, finished a minute and 8 seconds later. We got a little bit of a delay here.
I'm going to jump off, guys, but thank you very much for the stream and the commentary and the tracking. Always appreciate it.
Yeah, good luck in the SGL tournament. I'm assuming, Matt, you're also in the league that is coming up next week, so good luck in
both of
all
those.
of that fun stuff.
All right, thanks
Lots
a
of
lot.
random coming up, so...
Yeah, thank you guys. Have a good night.
Right, as we're watching CRL go through Mire, it's going to be their second to last crystal that they have to do. We know that Ice Rod is sitting in Mimic Cave for them, doing a lot of work looking for that Ice Rod, which, could be fair, could be anywhere in the seed but Trinex, so being thorough is not necessarily a bad thing. Let's see who we got. We got Roach.
And we are
popping in.
joined by Roach. Yep.
GG's Roach. So... That medallion was a jerk, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was like, when I did the Bombos tablet, see a medallion fall from the air, I'm like, yes! Damn it! Quake!
What's funny is you and CRL had the Fire Rod significantly sooner than what Matt or Alex did. They were in Ice Palace when you guys found the Fire Rod. Your big hang-up was that Ether Medallion, and that Ice Rod was just always just going to sit there near TR. Kind of go through your thought process in the seat as you were going, okay, I've got Fire Rod, I don't necessarily need the flips, I can just go do Ice Palace, and where you decided to what you were going to eliminate in your route.
Well, for the daily races, I usually try and keep it to just efficient routing and just clear what I can. Try to keep gambles to a more of a minimal in dailies. It's just the fact that it's like, okay, when I got down to the end though, look at the Ether Medallion, it's like, alright, I have a Pyramid Fairy open to me, so let's just knock out Bombos Tablet to Swamp to Pyramid Fairy Pod and hope I find the Ether Medallion early in that route. But of course it was in Pod.
Yeah, and how stressed were you that you left an item in Thieves Town?
It was on the back of my mind, but wasn't really too concerned because if I last location the Ether Medallion there, I figured most people would have.
Yeah, the only one on Restream that didn't was Matt. He went straight to Hype Cave to get that mirror and hammer, so...
Yeah, Matt skipped Thieves Town the first time to do the overworld and came back. So he came back with both mirror and hammer.
I mean, as I said, it was on my mind, but as I said, it's like if pod didn't play out, I was like, okay, I can go to pedestal next. You know, it's like I could have checked earlier, but like we'll just blindfold if I have to at that point.
Alex did check it. It was 3 bombs.
What was more on my mind more than anything was actually that shovel on Zora Ledge.
That was a rupee. So, because Matt also grabbed the shovel to check that. So,
that was more on my mind than anything else. But as I said, my routing was more just for efficiency's sake, not like, okay, what gamble do I want to take?
Yeah,
I leave those kind of gambles to official races, like tournament races, where I have to, depending on what opponent I'm against.
Now, which led you to do Swamp Palace. That was a really nice Swamp Palace, wasn't it?
Yeah, the big key being early made it, easy to route at least. Nice and
all the items were in the front. The big key was locked somewhere left side or behind itself.
It was on the left side.
Yeah.
Just to kind of interrupt here to bring back to our last remaining restreamed runner. Yeah, I think what we were thinking earlier, CRL wants that lamp. Unfortunately, he's gone back into Thieves Town to go check the big chest that we were just talking about. I think to try to get the lamp. Unfortunately, the lamp is locked in Turtle Rock.
Yeah, that stinks.
It's unfortunate where you want that lamp to do the dark rooms, and the lamp ends up being in the dungeon with the dark rooms.
With a dark room. And it happens to be probably the easiest dark room.
Well, it's before that dark room, but yeah. It's still...
I hate that dark room. It's the one I screwed
up. That dark room is so easy.
I screwed up
the literally hold.
I know.
I mean, yeah, you know what? I can see that. I've messed that one up a lot.
Hey, hold on. How about this one? It rarely comes up in these type of series, but Castle Tower, harder dark rooms.
Oh.
Castle Tower, it's between that first Mire room and Castle Tower is a bit of a pain, but if you've done AGA enough, you can muscle memory it and just if you got a long range weapon, you can kind of protect yourself. But that Turtle Rock dark room is easy.
I said I am comfortable with pretty much every dark room now, as long as I have a sword.
Mm-hmm.
Sword being a key part in that, just to find my way.
That Turtle Rock dark room is literally hold down right until you stop, and then it's hold right, down, left, and you're done.
Hey, so one of our trackers when discussing dark rooms here is mentioning, what about the dark turtle room in pod?
That's what I was just about to mention. That is the one dark room I will not do without fire rod or lamp.
I will do it if I have either bombos or ether.
So give me fire rod and I'm fine. As long as I can see what I'm doing to kill those turtles, I'm good.
See, the thing is, if you flip the turtles, you can kill them with medallions. So if you get a decent hit early, you can kind of get 4 or 5 of them, and then you can wait till one of them hits you, flip it with a hammer, and then just kill it with a medallion.
Yeah,
that's been my strat.
Usually my logic in that is if I'm doing pod and it's a crystal, there's lots of things locked by lamp and a good number of things that are locked by fire rod. I'm only going to do the back of pod out of logic without lamp once I have fire rod anyway, because then that just gives me more incentive to move on and do pod, because I can just fire rod shot or do the dark basement and then do dark maze and then I'm good. It's one of those things where when do you call doing an out of logic stuff that is locked so much could be locked by fire access that it's worth you not doing it without any fire.
I mean, I've done it a few times. It comes up. Sometimes you're in that dungeon because it's the most dense location and you're just trying to find something and then it just doesn't have anything. But if it's a crystal and you're in the dungeon, it just kind of makes sense to finish it.
I think it's more common in something like Cross Keys, where you find pod. Oh, great! I don't have any fire source, but I have a bow and a hammer, and I can clear it. Then doing it without any fire makes a lot of sense. But if I'm playing just a regular seed, whether it's boots or key sanity, I'm waiting until I have a fire source to bait me into going into pod.
Now, I will say, now this is something as a general whole for randomizer, because I've been doing it for a few years now, is that the average skill level has increased significantly between all runners. It's crazy how much better everyone as a whole has gotten.
Yeah, that reflected in the spring tournament. How many people were eliminated from that tournament just in qualifiers? You're going, that person was eliminated? Really? And just goes to show, hey, we've got the best people running this as well as you could possibly watch going on right now, which is why it's so exciting with the league coming up, with SGL going on, with those qualifiers. We're still going to have the daily races going on. There's constantly ladder races. So if you want to see, which I think is the game that shows is the best measure for how well someone plays a video game, this is the best time to do it.
They're Go Kakariko division for the league coming up, and I'm secretly hiding certain tech that I've learned just so people don't know I can do it.
Oh, I've been practicing my hovers to where now I'm getting it second try for hovers.
No comment. But the one thing I've been practicing a lot personally lately is cross keys.
Yeah, cross keys is so weird though. It's so much chance as to, okay, do you go to this location to find the thing first or second? And it's super fun to play. I think as a race category, it's so different that it's hard for me to say, okay, someone won a cross keys seed against someone else one-on-one. I don't know if that's a good for one-on-one. I don't think it's a great, stick to kind of measure up to. I like cross keys as a big group race because then you get some stupid stuff going on.
some 3 hour times, some hour and a half times.
Yeah, that's what I like, because cross keys week I'll be okay. It's just been a while since I've done it, but it's like I'll feel bad because you can have those big gaps in cross keys, but the difference could be you simply went to the area you needed to go to last. You did nothing wrong.
Just to kind of go back to our last runner here, CRL. That was actually a very well done chain chomp room. That was an awkward pattern that he got through very well and has picked up the lamp.
Yep.
So we will probably see him finishing up here soon.
Yeah, he's gonna go through. This is literally the last place he has to look for items. So
I'm surprised he went to TR before Meyer though.
Oh wait, he did have ice rod. Where was Ice Rod again? Oh yeah, never mind. Got it. It was in Mimic Cave.
Yeah, he literally he has cleared everything before TR. So
so he's already been in.
Ice Rod has to be here as long as he tracked his item count correctly. It has to be here.
CRL has been doing everything to try to find the lamp.
Yeah, I
think there's a little bit of an issue with the lamp in the Meyer dark room, which is absolutely fair. That is a horrible dark room.
Someone taught me a trick where it's like if you just stand on the like the one with the button switch, if you just stand in the bottom left corner, walk like a half a step to the right, set your block and just throw it straight up, it'll land on the button every time.
Yeah, yep. It's 4 pixels. It's literally you need to move 4 pixels. And
it's
a dark.
There are a lot of strats.
You normally have a sword at that point, so you just watch your sword sparkles.
Yeah, there's a lot of different strats. I've seen some new ones being kind of developed. Stuff with various different items.
Yeah, I
But-
heard there's a new bomb Harapot setup that's like really easy apparently. From what I've heard.
CRL, that's not a location you can mirror. But that's still not a location you can mirror.
Yep, you're just better off warping at
Just
the
go
door.
right in front of the door. Just walk up to the cave entrance.
Yeah, that's
There definitely is a more forgiving Harapot method now. I'm not quite sure the logistics. I've personally used one that nobody else uses,
So what it
I have
is-
my own little Harapot.
so I can tell you what it is. So the new Harapot is very similar to an old style that you could do it. So originally, if you didn't have boots, what you would do is you would line yourself up with the middle and the bottom peg, kind of sandwich yourself up, and you would walk backwards, putting your shadow into the tile grouting, your back shadow into the tile grouting. It's either the fourth or the fifth tile back. After you would put down a bomb, you'd line yourself up.
Oh,
chest.
sorry. CRL,
you're
one
okay.
hard. But
It's good.
continue.
You would line yourself up. You'd get the pixel to where you'd only see the one side of the treasure chest, and then you'd be pushed in. You just hook shot, and you're good to go. The new way is essentially the same way, only instead of your back shadow, you're lining up with your front shadow, the tile ahead, and that's it. I think it's the same conversion rate no matter what. I think the only difference is that with the back shadow, sometimes if you go too far back, it resets the camera and you have to move back toward the pegs. So
The new setup that was found though has multiple pixels that work instead of being like sub-pixel perfect.
that's always been Harapot. Harapot you didn't have to be pixel perfect with.
That's why the hook speed version of it is like you'll just get after a few tries usually.
Yeah.
No, that one I'm talking the bomb one though. There's the one like the original bomb method that a lot of people used was pixel perfect, and it was that you had to get it from exactly a specific angle.
Harapot is more how Harapot works. It's a camera manipulation. The only pixel perfect stuff you have to do is on the actual pot. So most of the time, the issue with anyone failing Harapot is a camera issue. When I was speaking about Hera's camera being crazy and the things you can do with it, so.
Anyway, I appreciate you guys commentating and whoever our tracker and restreamer are, but I'm going to be heading off to try to get some sleep.
Okay,
do.
good night.
Good luck in the league if you're a part of the league and on the ladder, and if you're in the SGL, good luck on all that.
Cat Creeker division of the league. I think this is our 4th. We've been into every single league for the invitationals, so it's however many it's been now. God, I can't keep track. So many tournaments of this game. But yeah, Miranda's a lot of fun. It's addictive.
I tell people go, well, why do you like playing it? It tickles the puzzle part in my brain.
But as I said, have a good evening, everyone.
Thank you very much for Roach. GG's in the chat for him. We're watching CRL finish up their Turtle Rock, which will be their 6th crystal. They're gonna mirror and flute over to Meyer and get through the dark rooms and kill Vitreous, hopefully with silver arrows. And then we'll have a GT climb with them. Trinex foot ate that fire rod shot. I just want to say that. Trinex, you jerk. And you put down the ice floor. A little bit easier from... There we go. Let's see. It's a little bit easier from the side. Oh, look! Trinex is evolving. Do. It's an Onyx! Yay! CRL takes down Trinex for their 6th crystal. gets the piece of heart for their reward, and heads off to Meyer after this cutscene. I just want to let you know you can follow the runners that were on the restream by hitting the !R command inside a Twitch chat. It'll bring you to their Twitch pages. Go ahead and give them a follow. You can do the same thing for your commentating and tracking team by hitting !C. That'll bring you to our wonderful Twitch pages. We're all doing League. We're all doing Ladder. We're all probably going to end up doing SGL qualifiers. Just because we can't get enough of this silly spaghetti-coated game that was released on what is arguably the best console ever.
I'm just gonna fill in while we have a second here. We do have a few more finishers. In 10th was the Daddy Gamers, in 11th was Cade Rukawa, 12th was TJ Joel, 13th was Polar Bear Bunny, 14th is Smirk JD, and 15th was Josh Bittner.
So we got 3 more people in progress. One more here on the restream.
Yeah, few forfeits here for whatever reason couldn't finish.
Those are forfeits of where the heck is my ice rod / where the heck is my fire rod. I don't want to find it. I'm done with this. Goodbye.
Could be something else might have come up. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes there's technical issues. Sometimes there's various different reasons. So
CRL is looking for a key.
Doesn't need a key.
They might not be familiar that you could just go up left and get to the same door.
Could be. Yeah.
My guess is CRL is new to Rando. Is what it's looking like. Which is awesome. Welcome to the community. Have fun torturing yourself with this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking more he's newer. I don't know how long he's playing. That'll be something that I'll ask. But that's the assumption I'm working on.
CRL definitely was one of the players in the recent Mentor tournament.
Okay.
So that could, I mean, so was I, but I've been around a little bit with comms and things before that. But it definitely, like, the Mentor tournament runs and ranges from people that have played for a little bit, just want some more experience, to completely brand new runners.
Yeah.
So that could very well is probably someone who's still learning and doing, and it's always nice to see new runners. And on that note, if you are watching this and this looks like something you want to play, please do join us. There's a huge community. A lot of people that are willing to help you out, show you tricks, show you ways to get around things, and do join the Discord.
Yeah.
I don't know if we have a command for that here. I'm sure we have one. I don't know what it is.
I don't know if there's one for Rando, but I'm sure there is a command for the Speed Gaming Live Discord.
Oh, there is. I wonder if
a
this
whole
will work.
bunch of stuff.
That's not what I was looking for, but okay. I think the Discord link is correct, though.
Yeah, the Discord link is correct on that.
Discord link is correct. So if you're interested in joining us, please use that Discord link. ignore the tournament. That one's over. But
yeah, just simply because of not knowing that you can go upper left to get to Vitreous, it seems as though, and Meyer logic is one of the harder dungeon logics to get. It makes sense that, okay, he went this way because he knows he can get that way.
Oh yeah, Meyer's confusing.
Meyer's easy once you learn to just ignore small keys. Kind of.
Yes, but like as you're trying to learn this, like routing and trying to figure out how to walk around this dungeon is not straightforward.
Yeah, it's essentially anyone who I'm teaching Meyer to, I just tell them just kind of stay in the center and you'll find your way. Don't go up. If you're going up, you're going the wrong direction. Kind of go left, right. If you go left, right, you'll find where you need to go.
Yeah, and there's a multiple different ways to get to the boss there. Once you know how to get there, from the right and the left.
Yeah, that multiple way of 2.
Yeah, it's the only dungeon that really has so many ways to get there, which I think adds to the confusion. There's not one straightforward way to do it. There's like 3 different ways to get there.
Yeah, there's up left, up right, and through the door, and then through the cutscene chest. The only other dungeon
worst enemy in the game, right here, Dead Rocks. Bad enemy.
The only other dungeon that has 3 ways to access the boss is Ice Palace.
Which we all know is the most straightforward dungeon with the most normal key logic of any dungeon in the game, right?
I've been playing this game for 2 years. I've been playing this game for 2 years. I still question myself every single time I go to Ice Palace. I'm like, okay, was this hookshot locked? Am I red cane locked? Where's this other small key? Oh, the small key was here. What does that mean where the items are at?
Yeah, the problem is that the logic is dependent on the chests that are and are not locked by various items. And the thing is that because of things like Icebreaker and Ice Palace Bomb Jump, you don't do them in order. So the chests that deem it to be locked by certain items are your like first and then like 4th and 5th checks, or 4th and 6th checks, which is just utterly confusing as you do it.
I've essentially committed to routing Ice Palace 3 ways. Do I have red cane? Yes. Okay. Well, I can Icebreaker, and then it's like, well, do I have hammer with it? What chests can I get with that? Do I have hookshot? Okay, if I have hookshot, that opens up all of the dungeon for me, which is the long way, but whatever. And then it's, do I just have hammer? At which point then it's like, okay, well then I guess I'm just going to the boss and beating the boss.
Yeah, it's definitely a very interesting dungeon to route. Those 2 dungeons are definitely 2 of the harder dungeons for newer players to figure out.
Pod is the next one. I think Ice Palace pod key logic is also, if you're new.
But worst case pod key logic, you just do the dungeon and keep going and just open everything.
Yeah.
Right. It's not. It'll make it a little bit slower, but it's not going to make it any more confusing. Whereas Mire and Ice Palace definitely make things more confusing.
Yeah, they're way more labyrinthine than Pod. Pod just has just 3 sections, the front, the back, and the boss. Where Ice Palace is, Ice Palace you do it room to room, kind of like Mire. You do it room to room. Oh.
Ooh, those pits are not being nice to CRL.
Yeah, it's trying to set up the bonk jump off that skull. Nothing wrong with getting some practice in here. And there's a big key. Having silvers, you're as good as you're going to be on swords, or as good as you're going to be on potions. Just mirror and get out of here. Yep.
We did have Iron Gamer 4565 finishing 16th. Oh, just hit the trigger. Just ignore the enemies. Okay. CRL just taking his time, making sure the enemies die. Double grab, good. Lining him up. Gonna go with that method, works very well. Ooh, a little bit off, got it. I thought he was fine, but
yeah, the second mimic room is a little bit tricky. Everyone kind of has their own way of doing it. I generally enter in with my sword drawn out, and I move up first to get that mimic pushed, shoot an arrow, move right, turn down, shoot an arrow. The second mimic's dead.
Hey, don't die to a spike.
Did he go get new potions before he fluted here?
I don't know, but it's okay. We've got the fairy room coming up. And I definitely assume we're going to see we're not seeing the fairy room?
Nice! Gutsy call. Like it.
Ah!
I think he caught a fairy in Mire. I'm pretty sure he powdered and caught a fairy.
Yeah, but you know what? If you're coming up here with 2 hearts, just jump into that room. Like it
He might
will
not know
fully
about it.
refill your health.
He might not know about it.
Oh well, actually that was nice. Those enemies are part of the fairy pack. That works.
Yep, prize pack bailing you out. It's always nice when those
definitely.
Zyzax have.
I definitely try to avoid. Ooh, so there's also a little bit of a strat here. A note that like you can use the fire rod to get rid of that. Wow, I can't even remember the name of that enemy. The skeletons.
That's
Blanking?
a Staphos. That's
Staphos. There we go. I just couldn't remember it for a second. That Staphos you can kill with a very quick slight left movement and a fire rod. It seems like a really small thing until the first time that Staphos decides to hide in the northeast corner behind the Beamos, which happened to me once in a race, and it took me like 40 seconds to finish that room because I couldn't kill it. Kill it right away with the fire rod if you have the ability. It saves a lot of time.
That's what you gotta do. You gotta kill everything with fire.
Yeah, no, honestly, like, I didn't learn that tech until the first time that Staphos stuck me for 40 seconds and I lost a race because of it. And, yeah. That's definitely something to learn for newer players.
Trying to do the Wizrobe quick kill. There's a little bit of movement you need to do in order to get that all off. It's basically you move up. You can either put the block down correctly where you're moving up. I like to turn slightly left to put the block down correctly. And then you just kind of move up to the right, swing your sword, and they're all dead. A lot trickier than what it looks, but once you kind of figure it out, it's super easy and satisfying to do.
It is. I agree with left. I see some runners doing it right. The problem with right is... Wow, that was okay. If the problem with... Ooh, this is an interesting order. You normally do right, then left. But CRL makes it through. The nice thing about doing it to the left is that the spike won't block your Samaria shot. Sometimes to the right, the spike decides that it will get in your way.
See, I go left because movement information here. When you move left and you push left, technically Link moves at 2 pixels every single time you press left for the first time.
Yep. No, I mean that definitely helps. But if you go right, once in a while that spike likes to eat your Samaria block or Samaria shot, which very much can slow things down.
Sorry, I am at the point to where it's like where I need to learn things is things that are the higher end difficulty things to do, like pumping. So I have been full diving into learning and doing pumping properly. So it's like, oh, okay, so when I move left and up, I move 2 pixels and then 1. If I move right and down, I move 1 and 1. Well, which one gets me through things faster?
Yep. But like for just the average person, someone learning the game, I definitely recommend going left just because it's a little easier on the timing for newer runners, and that spike will not block your shot. Our tracker mentioned Bombos as a strat, and you know what? Yes. If you are learning this game, you're trying to figure out how to get through that. If you're having real issue with a room one day and it just will not work, using Bombos is definitely a strat to kill it. It's a little slower, but it's safe.
Here's what's nice about the Gauntlet, once you figure it out. Gauntlet 2 and Gauntlet 3, the Staphos and the Zyzax move in a very specific way as long as you move the same way every time. So in Gauntlet 2, with the Red Staphos, if you just walk forward to in between the first conveyor belt settings with your fire rod out, you can kill 2 Staphos at the same time. Just poof, poof, fire rod, they're done. And sometimes that third that's on the far left walks over toward the bottom one, and you get a third with one fire shot. So, same thing with the third room, the 3 blue horses. The one in the bottom right always walks right 3 steps. So if you walk down right and shoot a fire rod shot, that will kill the one. The other one's kind of hanging along the wall to the right. You could slap him, he dies, and the other one, well, you just gotta hope he walks down. You mitigate your RNG that way if you're able just to kind of go, okay, well, if they're always going to be constantly kind of in this area, I can kind of plan out where I'm going to go. So, as we're getting a pig fight here with the bacon sword, Baconator getting baconized with bats. And gotta dodge those bats. The third X, thank you very much for the raid with the party of 5. We are just finishing out an SG daily race of Link to the Past Randomizer, which was SGL 2021 tournament rules, which is casual boots. Version 30 settings, which is non-progressive bows.
Oh.
He's got a fairy. He's got a fairy. He's fine. He's got a fairy.
You're right.
Which casual boots is sword start, boot start, sanctuary start. And hard item pool, which is limited to 2 bottles, 1 mail upgrade, and 3 sword upgrades. And 2 full heart containers and all of the heart pieces. Yeah, unfortunately, CRL doesn't have any invincibility items. Gonna have to use the hook shot to kind of give yourself some iframes away from the bats. Don't take hugs! Hugs are bad! Hugs are bad from the bat. And here comes the teleports. That's 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm counting them from last time. 9, 10.
Yeah,
That was 11.
That, for the record, it may actually save time to take a death on Ganon because of how many warps there are. You take an early death, if it resets the warp and it changes the warp random RNG so that he may actually have less teleports. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, I mean, you could if you wanted to.
If you knew there were going to be that many teleports, it might actually be faster just to take a death immediately. That's actually pretty funny.
All right, yeah. CR. Oh, missing the fire rod shot. That's okay. Get your silver bow out.
Not a happy situation.
No.
I did not like where that torch was lit. I was already saying that was bad before the fall.
Yeah, you kind of want to put yourself kind of near the carpet and kind of stay near the center.
Oh, you know, that's actually an interesting point being brought up by the Third X in chat here. If in co-op, if you know there are so many teleports for the second runner, is it worth just dying to reset it? That's a thought. There's a thought for some teams out there. Somebody to figure that out. How many warps do you need before it's worth just dying and restarting the fight? Somebody figure that out. Let us know on the Discord down the road.
I would say, I mean, it honestly depends upon what the new RNG role is. I would say anything above 5, you might want to risk going ahead and saying, I'm gonna go ahead and eat a death and save teleports for it.
But that's just such an interesting concept, though, right? Like in co-op, that your teammate can be like, that was way too many teleports, just die and try and see if you can get better RNG.
I'm trying to time it in my head. It's about 6 seconds to exit from where you fall in Ganon, or where a death would be the fastest way. Just eat a death, you're right back at the top of the pyramid, and you're ready to go.
Just drop back in, yeah, like on phase 1, just like hug Ganon twice. You're probably dead.
In blue mail, it's 3 hearts for Ganon, I think. Red mail, it's 2.
Is it 3, not 4?
It might be 4.
A hug is 8. on green.
Okay. So then, yeah, it would be 4, and then I think red mail is 3 or 4. I don't think red mail helps you too much on pig hugs, but I've seen the chart. I just don't remember it. It's at this point I have Ganon so on automatic that I taking damage on a pig I really don't mind. It's when I don't see him and then he teleports on top of me. Then it's like, well, what could I have done?
Well, that's kind of what happened to CRL there at the end. Unfortunately, took a little bit of a Ganon hug from an unfortunate timed lamp lighting. Tried a double. Unfortunately, Ganon was a little bit too close to the center to make that work. Yeah, these timings on the lamp are scaring me a little bit.
Oh yeah, that's why it's nice to kind of know the quick way to do things with the fire rod.
Hold on. This is what happened the first time. That's how we fell. Okay, we're okay. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's once you kind of learn spin strats, once you kind of learn how to do triples, Ganon fight becomes significantly easier.
That was better. That was a much better light timing. That was actually a triple timing if for spins if he was near and needed it. But that was a much safer. And there it is. CRL standing there with a sword up in the air does finish in 17th place with a time of 2 hours, 19 minutes, and 6 seconds. Finishes 4th on our restream. Do get your GGs in chat out there. Please do. Like it was well done, well finished. And yeah, congrats to CRL.
We'll see if we'll get CRL in here for a chat or not. Might not want after that seed, which is understanding.
There are, yeah.
Skipping through.
I'm seeing some of these comments are kind of funny. One of our runners says, Harris seemed like a good idea at the time. Catfish could be catfish is catfish, but shovel could be anything. Some great whoops, full cleared. We got yeah. There's some interesting comments from our runners that have finished this race. A lot of people seem to be a little bit annoyed with some of these locations. But it is what it is. As far as I haven't. Yeah, we're just reaching out to CRL to see. But please do follow all 4 of our runners. They really did a good job. They let us restream them, gives us something to show you and talk about. So please do support them. All our commentators and trackers are volunteers for this, so it does help to support them as well. There, all of the links to everybody involved today are in chat.
Yep. For your commentating and racers.
please do support the speed gaming channels too. Like the speed gaming channels are the reason that we're able to be here and show this to you. We're on Speed Gaming 4 today. There are 6 total channels that you really should be following. There's Speed Gaming and then Speed Gaming 2 through 6. So please do give them all a follow. It helps you know when we're doing something, when we're streaming something, and yeah, so you don't miss something the next time we're up.
Yeah, and there's multiple languages. I like to jump into the German speed gaming every once in a while, since I am not as fluent as I used to be, but I can kind of pick up and put down what they're saying. And you see a lot of the great European, specifically the German runners over there. So
yeah, plenty of languages. I know there's also a French and Spanish channel, and I'm sure there's probably a few more that I'm
Portuguese. I'm trying to think of any other ones. Yeah, French.
You know what?
German.
Well, definitely, if you speak another language, take a look, see if it's there. If not, hey, that's your chance to see if you want to help out and see if we can start something.
All right,
But,
it looks like CRL won't be joining us, so understandable. So,
But yeah, I will say keep lookout. We do these daily ALTTPR races every day during Monday through Friday, and there's always there's a Sunday race that's up as well for open. Tomorrow's race will be at 11 p.m. Eastern time, North American Eastern, and it'll be a light speed race, 11 p.m. I'm not sure I mentioned that. So do keep that in mind. There are also a lot of things still ongoing tonight on Speed Gaming. If you're looking for something different to watch, there is a there's a Metroid Fusion race over on Speed Gaming 5. There is a Metroid Prime race over on Speed Gaming 3. Looks like there's a Super Metroid race over on Speed Gaming 1 that just started. And there should be a Final Fantasy that I've lost track of, but maybe it finished race as well. So as I said, Speed Gaming and Speed Gaming 2 through 6, check them all out. There's something going on. Looks like some of these actually finished a little ahead of schedule. Speed Gaming is your best bet here with Super Metroid. That's still ongoing right now.
all right. Well, for myself, Worldwide Wimpy, my co-commentator Zethno, our trackers, which were Jinxie Girl and Terry Pagula. This has been Link to the Past Daily Race Randomizer here on Speed Gaming Live. We'll see you guys tomorrow for that light speed race. Have a good one.